How did you hear about 28 Tenn Fitness?
From my husband, Will, who has you as a client within his insurance business. And he came home and started talking about, for months, he kept saying, I think I want to do this. I want to start working out with this trainer, this guy I know. And I don't know, I kind of fought it a little bit, as I think you probably knew. But I'm glad I'm all in.
Well, I knew you, like, were you fighting him doing it as well?
Sort of, yeah. I was just kind of like, you run, like we have a Y membership, we're fine. Yeah. But I mean, I did not realize how fine we were.
I love hearing that.
We weren't fine.
So why, and I love our first encounter. I absolutely do. Of you saying, I'm not here for me, I'm here for Will. And thank you for showing up and showing support for your husband, because that's huge. But why were you interested in giving me a try?
I think that doing that I think initially it was making Will successful, because I didn't really think that I think that the two of us doing the nutrition together is the only reason it's kind of stuck. I feel like, or at least maybe not the only reason, but I feel like that's helped tremendously. And then I think after we continued to talk about it, I realized that I was just kind of, I think I mentioned this previously, just kind of working out to like make up for outrunning my diet. Mm-hmm. And so then I realized I really wasn't feeling that great as I thought I did. And then that's kind of why I decided to take the plunge too.
Okay. Well, I remember in our meeting that you had started off saying, I'm here for Will, but by the end, mm-hmm. you were kind of, So this helps me in knowing, okay, what do I need to repeat to the next missus or the next mister that's in it only for the support that triggered this?
Oh gosh, what did trigger it? I don't know. I remember you kept asking why, and that was big, because it kind of like got a little bit. I don't remember what the start of the question. I guess maybe, what do you want to do? And you just kept saying why, and so that kind of got me thinking a little bit more about what I wasn't happy with my body or my lifestyle or the way I felt. But yeah, I don't remember specifically. I really don't.
It's funny because of my list of questions. The heading of this one is get the client to discuss her why.
Okay.
And so here you are, and we'll get to your why, but it's cool that you bring that up, of how important that is, the why. And you have even a greater understanding of that. So that's great. So what made you take action?
I think just wanting to, I feel like it was so long ago, I hardly remember. But I think it was wanting Will to be successful at it, and then just wanting to feel better and look better. I thought, why not kind of give it a shot? Because I knew my nutrition wasn't great. I was eating chicken nuggets and drinking wine at night and eating Cheez-Its and bags of veggie straws, which sometimes still happens. But yeah, I think I was just kind of sick of feeling low energy and not that good about how I was looking too.
Okay. We're going to circle back to that, which is fantastic. You're doing beautifully with this.
I feel like I would be doing better in person. I'm kind of sweating on this chair right now.
Well, if you're like, you know what, if you want to see the finished product and you're like, nope, let's do it in person, we can always do that. But,
okay. I know. I feel like I haven't said anything that was really worth it.
Oh, no, you have. Absolutely. What were your goals before starting with me?
What were my goals with PN coaching, or just?
No, so you were going, hey, we're fine. We have a gym membership and we run. So what were your goals?
No goals. I had no goals. I just wanted to, like I said, kind of outrun my diet. Running was a mental release for me. And so that was more the reason why I did it than anything else. And working out in general. But yeah, I didn't have any goals. I wasn't like training for a race or trying to be healthier or trying to be stronger. I was just working out and running just to do it.
Okay. Well, you had mentioned that you kind of wanted to look and feel better.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Well, that wasn't that after I met you, that was my goal. I thought you
Oh,
were
okay.
pre. I thought you were saying pre.
Oh,
I
I
had
didn't know. I didn't know you were like, I want to look and feel better before even meeting with me. Okay.
I don't think I really thought, I think I thought I was fine. I kind of gave myself a little bit of a pass because I just had 3 babies and I'd been pregnant or breastfeeding for like 5 years basically. And I felt okay with how I looked. And then I met you and I realized that I wasn't. I didn't feel as great as I thought I did or look as good as I thought I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I really thought, I remember being like, well, I'm fine. I feel happy with, and then I took those first pictures, like for the first photo shoot. And I realized I was not fine too. But
So how are
mm,
you feeling now?
I'm feeling better. I've told Will, I think it's kind of interesting that I mean I go, I mean I'm almost, I mean I've fluctuated a little bit in the last week. Um but I mean at the point when I was 10, 11 pounds lighter than I was, I still didn't look in the mirror and like feel super confident. Like I think it's a kind of a body image issue inside. I feel better. I feel more energetic and more in control on the days that I eat right, but I'm still not 100% there. And so I'm kind of beating myself up a little bit. Um, I don't know. But I mean, I feel better the day when I eat right. Put it that way.
Okay.
I feel stronger.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Um, the Actually, I want to save this for the end before I go into coaching mode because you bring up some beautiful
I was
points.
going to talk to you about that after the interview, but okay.
Okay. um, had you tried dieting and exercising before?
Yes. I've literally always exercised because and it wasn't really with a goal in mind. It was just because I kind of needed to do it because I've told you I was a competitive swimmer, so I just always exercise. I think the only time in my life I didn't was when I had a stress fracture from training for a marathon. So I have always exercised, but not really with a purpose or with an intention. And then dieting, I mean, we did Whole 30, so I would consider that a diet. Um, I felt
Absolutely.
I felt like $1 million. I loved it. And then I think we told you I think I lost 9 pounds in a month. And I think I gained like 8 back the next week, like the week after doing Whole 30. So, but that's real. And then otherwise, I mean, I've tried some little like calorie counters or the Lose It app where you like can scan your food, but I've never really gotten that serious about it. Whole 30 was the most serious I've ever been, but then it obviously didn't stick.
Did you do the entire 30 days?
I did not cheat one time. I did not put anything in my mouth that
Wow.
was 30 compliant for 30 days.
I think around day 22 is when people typically say,
I I did not. That's that's like my personality. And then when I was able to eat whatever I wanted to, I ate everything fine. So that's why that doesn't work.
oh. Um, did anything make you hesitant to start, whether it be working with me or even doing the Whole 30 or anything like that? I mean, your body of work seems relatively small in terms of dieting, but has there ever been a hesitation? Or are you kind of like, I'm in, let's do this?
Like a hesitation starting PN coaching or like I don't, yeah, I think there is I mean, there's always that kind of a hesitation because I love to eat. I've always been, I think that's part of my swimming blood too, is I always had 4 meals a day growing up. I ate whatever I wanted. I swam it all off. And so I love to eat. I love to eat. And that is my main hesitation doing anything. So before starting Whole 30 or before starting this, for sure.
Okay. I'm actually going to be asking a little bit later about your experience with the nutrition coaching. Um, but what I'm hearing is perhaps because of advertisement and media and what people say, or like a Whole 30, you just assume I have to give something up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want to do this. Even though I don't know what I have to give up yet, I'm just kind of digging my heels in
Yeah,
and I'm not going to do this type
right,
thing.
right, absolutely.
So what was your initial impression, um, basically, of me when you first came in, when we met at the Well Coffee House?
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were genuine. You looked me right in the eyes and you were, I think that I could tell that you put your money where your mouth was. I mean, you were in shape. You were really, like I said, just kept asking why and why and listening and attentive and kind of digging down to see if would be good clients for you too. It was almost a little bit of an interview process. I felt like you weren't going to just take anybody that said, yeah, I want to be skinny.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was probably my first impression.
Okay. What do you think, why? It's a why question. Why do you think you've had success with me?
I think the daily habit has been tremendously helpful because I start every single morning, not every single morning, but most mornings, kind of with it forefront in my brain, just a good way to kind of jumpstart the day. And then I love your insight with like the responses that you'll give sometimes to my feedback and my owner's manual. I told Will, I feel like you're like a therapist as well, because you kind of dig down to the deep, like, why are you making those choices? Or I don't know, it's just not black and white with you. And I appreciate that. Like one of the most helpful things you said is that I think I wrote that I eat a lot when I feel like I'm losing control of everything. So I don't have control of the kids. I don't have control of the house. I feel like the house is a mess. Everything's crazy. And your response was, when that happens, the one thing you can control is what goes in your body. And I cannot tell you, of course, I've gotten a little bit better the last week, but how many times I've walked into the pantry and I thought, when the kids were screaming or fighting or something, and I thought, you can control what you're putting inside your body. And so your words were in my head. So that has been super helpful. So I think your insight and then also just the daily habits and the daily coaching has been great.
Okay.
And you were the one that suggested doing body pump. You suggested that like initially to start doing body pump twice a week. And I don't think I've missed 1 week of doing body pump twice a week. And I think that's made a difference too.
Yes, that's great. Mm-hmm. What is it? This is a big one. What's it like following, and I'll include your exercise portion of this, even though you're more self-directed in this. What's it like following the exercise and nutrition program?
What's it like?
Mm-hmm. It could be, and a reaction should be like easier than I thought, harder than I thought. Has it opened up like your eyes to, wow, I don't have to be so restrictive just anything and everything, whatever.
It's definitely different than I thought it was going to be, because I went in that first day, opened up my habit thinking it was going to be like Whole30, like this is what you should eat. This is how many calories you should have. And so it's been really different and it's been much slower than I initially expected. But I think and I've kind of gone in ebbs and flows in my journey, but I think that's something that has been really helpful, is knowing that it is a journey. And that's been surprising to me. Because I thought you were just going to tell me what to eat, and then I was going to be able to check that off the list and do it. So it's a lot more, it is more self-directed in a way. And, it just kind of gives me control of what I'm doing, exercising and nutrition wise, but teaches me.
Going back to an earlier statement, and this plugs in beautifully. And I forgot what it was that you had said. So maybe as I just start probably talking more than I should on you. Have you enjoyed the lifestyle that you're now living? Like, do you see doing it for the long haul? Like, is this sustainable?
Yes, it's definitely okay. And I think it's because it makes me it makes me realize that I don't have to be perfect all the time. And there are, good weeks, bad weeks, good days, bad days, but I'm still kind of in it and committed to having a healthier lifestyle.
I remembered what it was, because you made the comment that, first of all, and I always need to be careful when I'm just speaking about any female in general, but I said this to Will, that the first, like, when you look in the mirror, you say you really don't see and maybe not quite happy with what you see yet. But looking at your before photo to where you are now, particularly your back,
Yeah.
is like Will, it from the front, the dude is just
Yeah.
narrow, but just yours too, a narrowing, but just more muscular and
Yeah.
everything. So I want to encourage you, hey, whenever because when you look in the mirror every day, like you don't see those changes, but to look back to see what you've achieved
Mm-hmm.
is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, the fact that on hole 30 you lost 9 and a week later you gained back 8. And through
Mm-hmm.
this slower process, it's been 9 months, and you may be down only 11 pounds, which is probably nearing 10% of your body weight, which is nothing to
Yeah.
forget about. You're 9 months in and you're still 11 pounds down. So I feel you've the tools, but why it's important, and this is kind of me coaching, I've achieved a number of fitness goals and I realized none of them brought me the happiness I thought they would, whether that was qualifying for the Boston Marathon, whether that was getting my body weight up to 200 pounds, whether it was getting my body weight down to 155, all these things. And I realized, Kelly, that you have to enjoy the journey, but you said something, what you feel bad about isn't so much even when you look in the mirror and what you see, it's your behaviors
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
you're,
Yeah.
because when you're eating something, you're going against your values.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to value. And I don't think people understand that.
Yeah.
So I say this with a word of caution in that I think you're going in a wonderful direction, but I'm not sure you'll ever look in the mirror and necessarily be happy with what you see. I'm looking in the mirror and always, I mean, you said, I saw you and you were fit, but I look in the mirror and I see 10 different areas I could improve upon tomorrow.
Right.
But I hold fast to the fact that I'm fueling my body. It's not just about the look. It is about the feel. It is about how I'm performing and those sort of things.
See, and I think you just hit the nail on the head. And I just talked to Will about this last night because I think that when I am looking in the mirror or thinking about my day, and I have made a couple bad choices. You know, I did eat a bunch of veggie straws off the kids' plates, or I did something. I think that's why I'm feeling negative and bad about myself. And I know that goes against everything that you coach, and that is part of the PN nutrition. It's give yourself grace and forget about it after you do that. But I do think that the days I look in the mirror and feel good, it's the days that I know I've made the right choice
Yes.
and done what I'm supposed to do and feel good about my values and the way I've lived that day. So I mean, you hit it. I just need to do better, I guess.
Well, and you have been doing better and you'll continue to do better. I mean, I look definitively at the year 2011 as kind of my epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
Of the way I approached coaching, the way I approached personal responsibility, and actually started walking the walk instead of just telling people what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So what? That's 9 years, and I still have those days, Kelly, where I am like, I am no good.
Yeah.
I even shared with Will, I struggle with worthiness. Like, is he getting your investment worth? Am I
Yeah.
being the best coach I can be? And every other role too. So,
Yeah.
and so much of that stems back to my behavior more so than what I'm seeing in the mirror.
Yes. Yeah.
So like
Yes. Yeah.
what you just shared was like, that's its own clip in and of itself. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was real. I mean, you definitely pegged what was going through my head, what's been going through my head. So yeah.
So we're all not that different.
Mm-mm.
I want to discuss how, actually I skipped over a question, but I think we hit that. Well, no, let me ask this. Why do you think it's working this time?
That I think because it's not super restrictive and you don't have to be perfect. Because and then I think just I think the habits, I mean, I'm still not great at the 80% full, but that has been huge, that eating slowly to 80% full is life changing. And that's something I'm still working on, but I think that is probably the main reason why it's working. And again, yeah, just the consistency.
Okay. I want to head back to, you had said like when you opened up that first lesson, you
Mhm.
thought it was going to be me telling you what to eat.
Mhm.
Were you almost like insulted by what the habit was?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I remember being like, well, we're paying for this. Like, this is nothing. How am I going to lose weight? Yeah. No, I was definitely insulted. And I thought I knew so much about nutrition. Like I thought I knew you're supposed to eat chicken breast and broccoli, like vegetables and lean protein. But I didn't know nearly as much as I thought I did.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you had a good idea of what you were eating, but we've learned that it's about the why.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
about the when and it's about the how. So the reason I'm reminded of that because you've gone back to the second and third habit. Like you're
Mhm.
jumping all the way back to month 1 and 2 still of eating slowly to 80% full. What was your first impression of the eating slow? It was probably better than a 5 minute action,
Yeah.
but were you still like,
I
when are
still
we going
thought
to talk about what we eat?
I know. No, I think that was the week that I really like I was sold. I was like, this is huge. I didn't realize how fast I was eating. I didn't realize how mindlessly I was eating. So I think the day I opened up the eat slowly and mindfully, the habit was huge.
Okay,
I think,
great.
yeah. Will and I were super excited to get that habit again. Like a couple weeks ago, we were like, yes, we need this, even though we're supposed to be doing it anyways. It was really good to resurface.
Yeah, I use the analogy so often. This is like spinning plates. I mean, at this point, 7 to 8 months, and even though we're starting to repeat a couple, for the most part, you've had, a dozen habits. So you've 12 plates spinning, and some start to wobble and some fall and break, and it's a matter of getting back. And so,
Yeah.
yes, you we do want it continuing on and amassing, but no, you will always have these moments where you're ebbing and flowing, and these
Yeah.
moments where they're all spinning pretty well, and that's when you're like feeling awesome and probably even looking awesome too, because our behaviors, it's
Yeah.
amazing how the outcomes seem to happen.
Yeah.
But it was funny because you two both, like a week prior to that, the repeat of that hit up. You guys were like, "Man, we really miss eating slowly," and I was like, "Yeah." It's
Yeah.
it's amazing the order. I mean, it's systematic. The
Yeah.
way we put these, there is a purpose to
Yeah.
why they are, and they seem to come. The lessons come in a timely manner, and the
Mhm.
habits seem to come when you
Mhm.
need them.
When
So,
you need it the most. Yep.
yes. What's different today than when you started back in January?
Um, I think one thing that Will and I have talked a lot about that I haven't mentioned is that I don't feel like food controls me as much as it did 9 months ago. Like that is a huge thing. I think I've told you I always used to have emergency granola bars in my purse. Like I would never leave the house without eating or like packing a snack. So I kind of like that I think about food differently and nutrition differently as fueling my body and how it's going to make me feel as opposed to just like I was kind of so scared of being hungry. So that has changed a lot. I think the preparing food has changed a lot. Like, well, I mean, I never knew what I was going to have for breakfast or lunch, or I usually would plan dinner, but I never knew about the others. So I think the preparation, the planning has changed tremendously. And I don't hurt as much. Like I was always having back pain and like neck pain, and I do feel I think I feel so much stronger than I did 9 months ago. Picking the boys up, throwing them up in the air and playing in the backyard. So that's probably been the biggest.
That's awesome.
I know.
How I think you kind of hit this one on the head was, and maybe this will spark another thought. How has your day-to-day life improved after working with me?
Better planning, preparation. Um, I think again I've had a bad week, but I think up until a week or so ago, I did have more energy. Yeah, wasn't feeling as like wasn't getting that afternoon slump. So that's probably been the most day-to-day stuff.
I still want to go into coach mode when you say some of these things.
Take it.
um, how much weight have you lost so far?
It's like today or at my leanest.
Let's go your last official weigh-in.
My last official weigh-in, I had lost 6 pounds. I kind of I don't know, had a little rough go there.
Okay. Um, what other progress indicators have you been tracking? And if not tracking any, what changes, whether an initial goal or not, have you experienced?
I feel stronger, and when I eat right, I feel like I have a lot more energy to play with the boys and to more patience even with them. And that's probably due to also be feeling better about myself because of my behaviors that I'm doing. Um, yeah, yeah. Did I answer that?
Yeah, you did. Um, have you, I'll get into it later. I wanted to ask about your running. Um, what, what advice, this is a big one. What advice would you have for, or what would you say to family or friends that are on the fence about working with me?
I would definitely say do it because I was on the fence. Um, and I think it has helped me. It's going to continue to help me in so many different ways by having more energy, leading a healthier lifestyle, um, being accountable to somebody and getting the wisdom that you have, whether that's through nutrition or through, you know, kind of life lessons, or I don't know what the word would be, but um, yeah, I think it's worth it. I don't know. I can't articulate that. Um, yeah, I would say do it. I'd say take the plunge, go for it. You'll feel better. You'll feel stronger. You'll feel happier. And it's going to be a lifelong change to my lifestyle and my family's way of life too.
What made you trust me?
Ooh. I've got a good read on people. And I knew after meeting you in that coffee house that you were like genuine. I think that is the most important thing, is just being genuine. Like you weren't just some schmuck that, like a gym guy that like only cared about looking good. Like I could just tell you were genuine. You cared about Will, you cared about me, you asked about our family, and you wanted to do what was best for us. And I could tell that.